Okay, I'm gonna draw what I saw because you guys, it was... Hey guys! So today I'm very excited to do a review of the Swordsmith Village arc, Demon Slayer, episode 1. I said that so weird. Now, before I get into it, I will put timestamps. So the non-spoiler part of the review will be under the non-spoiler. And when I start talking about the episode, I'll put like spoiler. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, if you don't want to get spoiled, make sure to stay off of the spoiler part of the review because I will be talking about the episode and my thoughts on what happened and just like visually how it looked and everything. But yes, wow, just the entire event was awesome. I actually went to it with Brina Bell, Sabrina. She is very funny. I love her. And we had a lot of fun. Check out her YouTube channel. She did reactions to, I believe she has the first season and the second season on her channel. Well, the Entertainment District arc. She has that on her channel too. So make sure to check it out. But the event overall was so much fun. We actually had Zach, the English voice actor of Tanjiro, and we had Natsuki, the Japanese voice actor for Tanjiro, which just their energy on stage, I was like, first of all, I was gushing over Natsuki because he was such a funny dude. Like, I love him. Now, I don't watch Demon Slayer in dub. There was a portion, though, where we had Zach and Natsuki say a line from the show, and they both did a spectacular job. Natsuki, though, man, that dude gives me chills. His voice is so good. But another thing is we had a live performance by Emma singing the intro and the ending song for the Entertainment District arc, and I was just like, that was... So it is really raining in California right now. Anyways, so yeah, flash flood warning. Fun. It's been really raining here. So the performance by Emma was a reason why I kind of got the tickets because I'm like, I want to see her sing live. And the girl, oh my gosh, her voice was amazing. It was amazing. Okay. And then going off of the ending of the Entertainment District arc, we had Tengen versus Gyutaro, which... just being in that crowd of people, we all were cheering. Like the moment, you know, when Tengen steps in the fight, everyone was like, let's go. It was a lot of fun, you guys. The energy of the crowd was phenomenal. It was so much fun. And especially with Tengen versus Gyutaro. Now, there was a moment too, like in the crowd, someone like said kiss when you had Daki and Gyutaro, like their heads were rolling. And I'm like, okay. But seeing their backstory again, even with Daki and Gyutaro, I'm like, wow, that really hits the feels. Like, they did a good job with that. It was just sad. It was sad. Now, when the event starts, and I'm pretty sure that this will be the same for everyone that's seeing it in theaters when it releases, I think, in March. I think it'll be the same for everyone when it releases in March, but... you have like the beginning, and I'm pretty sure they play the opening songs. I can't really remember. And you kind of go through the entire Demon Slayer story that we've seen in the anime. And then it transitions into the actual episode. And they did such a good job with that because like you start to get the dialogue. You guys will see it, but I thought it was really cool. I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't think so. Because it's like things you've already seen. And I don't know if it's the same unless they're just gonna like play the episodes, but the way they transition into the actual episode was like... Now, before I actually talk about the episode, I will say the animation, it's there. It's amazing. I believe the director said that the animation will blow your mind. I think he said that, or he said something to that extent. And they're not lying. They're not lying. It was kind of hinted, like Natsuki, they couldn't really talk about it, but I'm pretty sure there will be moments in this episode that will, like, blow your mind. I mean, he was kind of hyping up Tanjiro, so I'm just like, okay, what's gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen? So the animation is definitely there. Oh my gosh. I will just tell you guys in a non-spoiler way that I really love the episode. The beginning is just fire. The animation delivers. The music, it was like chills. Now, if it's premiering in a theater by you, I highly recommend seeing it because seeing that animation on a huge screen is just I think it's worth it. If you have the chance, you should definitely try to see episode 1 in theaters. To the spoiler portion of my video. So if you haven't read the manga, if you haven't seen the episode, but if you don't care, I guess you can listen. It's up to you. It's really up to you. But here is a spoiler warning. If you do not want spoilers, get off this video. Get off. Get off. Go, 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 go. But if you don't care, then stay. The opening in this episode was mind-blowing, okay? There was a girl sitting behind me. The girl behind me sounded like she was having too much fun. Like, she moaned so loud and it was quiet. Like, there was no one really talking in the beginning. I mean, there were like whoas and stuff, but she just full on, it was like concerning. Either she really loved Akaza or she just loved the animation, or both. Could have been both. But in the opening, you have the meeting of the Upper Moons and Akaza. You see him, you kind of follow him first. Now the visuals in the opening. Again, I can't really show you. Now I'm going to try my best to describe what I saw. However, there was a trailer with the Upper Moons, so I'll probably insert their pictures as I'm talking about them. But we start off with Akaza entering the Infinity Castle, and there's this shot where he's falling, and it like flips from the Infinity Castle, I'm assuming the inside, to the outside, because you see this building and you see just water, like it's above water, and you see like pathways and bridges and stuff. And I'm just going to assume this is the outside, but that shot, like you have him falling, you have these amazing visuals. And you know what? I'm not a huge fan of CGI. And let me just say that the CGI in this is just, Ufotable does a great job with it. Like, I was sitting there in awe watching this opening scene, like the music, Akaza, and then when he lands there. Now, I don't know if this is Muzan's doing or if it's the upper one demon, but it like flickers a lot. Like, I don't think it's Akaza. I'm sitting here, I'm like, what is this effect we're seeing? Because it's like, it kind of flips and we get different visuals, like Muzan is above them and it flips. Like, you see him upside down, but then you see him right side up. And it does a lot of that. Like, it transitions from like different positions, or it does a lot of that with the visual effects. But you have Akaza in the Infinity Castle. And then there also is this woman like strumming an instrument, which sets this very eerie tone to like the entire thing. Like, I'm sitting here, I have the chills already with just Akaza being there. And I'm not a huge fan of Akaza because I love Rengoku, and I'm just mad. Like, everyone's cheering for Akaza, and I'm sitting here like, no, Rengoku. Like, I think Akaza is a cool character, like his design and everything, but it's just like, my heart is with Rengoku. Now, the next Upper Moon we see is Upper Moon 5, and he comes out of like a pot, and it kind of gave me like genie vibes, okay? And his name is Gyoko. So I found his entire design kind of scary, but then they show Upper Moon 4, which is Hantengu, which is this really like troll looking thing, okay? And he has like a very type of voice. And he seemed like kind of a coward, and we didn't really see anything about his powers. We would cut back to him once in a while. So we have Upper Moon 5, we have Upper Moon 4, we have Akaza. Then we get to see Upper Moon 2, which is Doma. This guy, Doma probably is my favorite one so far, just because like his energy with Akaza, oh my gosh, like, the dude kept touching Akaza and he was getting so mad. Doma was being really touchy with Akaza though. Doma acts silly. Like, I can't imagine him killing anyone. I can't. I don't know. He seems friendly. But he also just likes to troll Akaza. Like, I think he was saying like, you became a demon before me, but I'm higher ranked than you. And it was really getting under Akaza's skin. Like, this entire time, Akaza was just like enraged. And then you see him punch Doma and it like knocks his entire like jaw out. Like, so their dynamic is pretty hilarious. And then we got to see Upper Moon 1. We got to see the back of his head, which I thought that was like all we were gonna get. But eventually he shows up, he slices Akaza's arm off. And then he makes his entrance and you see his face. You see his face. I was actually shocked we got to see his face and he was talking. The dude has 6 eyes, which is kind of freaky, but I don't know if it's like hot or something. I'm like trying to remember. It was a little like, whoa, dude, whoa. So then he confronts Akaza in this entire situation. I almost wonder if Akaza is ever going to turn on all of them because he just hated being there. He hated Domo and he had a lot of hatred for the upper one. So I'm sitting here like, maybe Akaza will turn on them? So part of me also feels like Akaza is going to do something in the future, maybe against them. But we'll have to see. I mean, we started off the Entertainment District arc. I think that was just the Entertainment District arc. I can't remember if it was that or if it was the Mugen Train arc where we saw Muzan and Akaza, and Muzan just completely like blows Akaza out of there. And you're like, wow, Muzan is like on another level. But he has a lot of anger towards them. But overall, their designs are menacing. I feel like Domo looks like you want to be his friend. I don't know. He doesn't look that scary, but I feel like he's going to have some weird transformation that actually makes him look terrifying, maybe. But from what we saw, I'm like, wow, I really love this guy. And then we have Muzan. So it cuts away from the upper moons, but then we see Muzan. He's like above them, but he's also upside down and he's like messing with vials, saying like, why do I need you guys? Like, so Muzan is already feeling like things are falling apart and he's just mad, but oh my gosh, like, but also with the scene with Muzan, him just like messing with the vials, like putting blood in the tubes, and like you are seeing these vials and the animation, the CG on them is like insane. It almost looked real. Like, it looked like real glass there, and I'm like, dude, this is on another level. But again, we keep doing the flash thing, which had me wonder if it was Muzan or the Upper Moon or just the Infinity Castle. There was a lot of stuff happening. I'm trying to think. In, like, anime, you have the, like, pressure of, like, a character's power, like, weighing you down, and you kind of see that visually, and that's kind of what we were seeing. It felt like it could have been the Upper Moon. I'm like, was it Muzan? Or was it the Upper Moon? It felt like this pressure, like a really powerful pressure was like over everyone, especially Akaza. Like we were really focusing on just how angry he was. But overall, seeing all of these guys, I'm like, wow, this is going to be crazy because with Kotaro and Daki, they each had one eye. Just how strong Kotaro was with one eye. And I'm like, what's going to happen with these dudes? Going off of the opening, I'll get back to the opening at the end because it showed up at the end of the episode. We had Gyoko get this piece of information from Muzan, so he's going to be the one to go to the Swordsmith village. At least, I don't know if they're like in the Swordsmith village or if they meet somewhere around it, because I'll get into detail about everything with that, even though if you guys like read the manga, you already know kind of the deal with the Swordsmith village. And I believe Upper Moon 4, they were talking about, I think it's going to involve both of them. So we're still like pretty low on the Upper Moon list if they're going to be the villains of this arc. Overall though, with the aesthetic of the Infinity Castle, the strumming of the instrument, and just how the demons were interacting with each other, like you guys, you were in for a treat because that was just, everything about that was crazy and I loved it. And it made me scared. Like, I was nervous. But again, with the future fights, I feel like we're definitely in for a treat. When we first saw the upper one, though, I was kind of wondering because when Tanjiro was fighting Daki, like, there was a vision of this man, and Daki was seeing Muzan's memories. And she was, like, scared. I don't know if this is a stretch or not. I feel like Upper Moon 1 has either the DNA or is that person, because the hair and the face is very similar, which when we finally leave the Infinity Castle, but then Tanjiro has a dream about that man, so we get to see him again, and I'm pretty sure we saw his like actual eyes and face and everything. Like he was just chilling. Tanjiro was babysitting his son? I think it was his son. And it happens soon after everyone leaves. So I'm like, are they foreshadowing something? Is this a clue? The fact that Tanjiro has this dream we see this man shortly after we were introduced to Upper Moon 1. I'm like kind of putting the pieces together. I don't know. I'm either thinking it's his DNA or the Upper Moon 1 is that man that we see. I don't know if that's a good theory to have, but the fact that you see those two things together, I'm like, why are we bringing that back? You know? And they have the same hair, like the same hairstyle. Pretty sure the same hair color too. I don't know. It was tripping me out. It was tripping me out ever since they showed it. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I was thinking that, but now that we see this in this episode, I'm like, huh, maybe. But everyone leaving the Infinity Castle, and Domo, he's like a prince or something, a leader, because you see him sitting on this cushion and then he puts on his hat and he's like ready to go. So I'm like, oh, is he like some kind of royalty or prince or leader of a group type of thing? But everyone leaves the Infinity Castle. We go back. Like I said, Tanjiro was in a coma. So you see the aftermath of everything that happened in the Entertainment District arc. You see with Tengen, which was really funny because his face, he was just like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm done. And his wives just like carry him out of there. And everyone's like, how is this man doing this? He's a monster. Like, it was sweet though. I didn't actually expect to see Tengen again. Seeing him again, I was like, oh, Tengen. So back with Tanjiro. He's in a coma. Again, he has that dream. I'm pretty sure he woke up, though, when everyone was there to greet him. And then you find out what happened with Zenitsu. You see Inosuke, and then he goes back to sleep. And I think that's when he has the dream. Or was the dream before? Now I'm, like, mixing the events. But then he has the dream of the mysterious man. And, which I'll get back to at the end of the episode. I heard rumors, actually, that Zenitsu and Inosuke might not be in this arc. And pretty much confirms unless they're going to show up at any point, which I highly doubt, because what you find out about the Swordsmith village is it's very hidden. But moving forward, Tanjiro needs a new katana because he chipped his, and his swordsmith is gone. He is nowhere to be found, which is like, hey, let's go to the Swordsmith village and we'll make you a new katana. It's exciting though, because you're going into kind of the history of the katanas in the Demon Slayer world, entering this village, but also the fact of how hidden they take measures to keep it hidden, okay? To make sure that, demons can't find this place, and it's very hidden. So in that sense, I'm like, okay, we probably won't see Inosuke and Zenitsu join them unless they break their katanas and they decide to go, but I'm starting to think that they won't be in this arc. I believe they're called Kakushi, right? The Kakushi. Anyways, they send them off, so there's always a different person taking Tanjiro to the village, and he has to cover his ears, his nose, his eyes, and they have to carry him so he has no sensory. And then they pass him off. So basically he's getting passed off to each group, but I don't think they explained, again, at the very end, and I keep thinking about it, I'm like, okay, but the last person, wouldn't they know where it is? Now, when you enter the Swordsmith village, the visuals, you guys, the entire town, it's small, first of all. I think it was it almost looked like just one street. I don't know if it was that one shot, but it's very small. Very small, tiny, just surrounded by nature. But it was so beautiful, the little town. I'm like, I'd want to adventure there. The visuals for it. The visuals for the hot spring, again, on point with the visuals and the details in the environment. Again, it's a full table thing. They're so good at that. Especially being someone that not only have I watched Demon Slayer, I've also watched the Fate series, which, again, beautiful, beautiful. Anyways, so Tanjiro finally gets to the Swordsmith village, and it's really exciting. You find out Hotaru ran off, and either they're going to find him or a different swordsmith will make Tanjiro a new katana. So you get all of this information, and then they bring up the hot spring, which, oh my gosh, you guys, the hot spring. Mitsuri. Okay, I'm going to draw what I saw because, you guys, it was... I'm going to try to make it as, family friendly as possible, but there's the water. Okay. Give her, the green and pink hair. Okay. So, This is basically, I'll put it on the screen as I'm drawing it. That's basically what it was. Like, you got a full-on view of her butt. Like, girl stood up. Her hair was, like, covering her details on her boobs. You pretty much saw, like, everything on Mitsuri. The girl has curves, though. The girl looked great. It was an entrance for sure. I mean, you already saw her in her outfit where her, like, chest was exposed. So, you know, in this hot spring environment, obviously you're going to be naked. But what follows up from that, though, is you have Tanjiro heading to the hot springs. Mitsuri greets him. She's wearing a kimono, but her entire chest is, like, exposed, and she's running towards Tanjiro. Which her kimono was really pretty. I'm pretty sure it was, like, purple. I think I remember it was, like, a purpley kimono. And she was running right for Tanjiro, but Tanjiro was, like, trying to cover her up. And he's like, your boobs, but he got, like, a face full of her boobs. Now, when Mitsuri was, like, down there, she's talking about this man that was ignoring her, which we find out is Genya. Tanjiro tries to have a moment with him in the hot spring. He's like, we could relate to each other being naked or something. Something like that. It's like two bros just naked in a bath. I'm like, okay. When you go from the beginning of the episode and it was so serious to how lighthearted it got right after that, the tone shift Demon Slayer has, though, it goes from, like, silly and, like, kawaii to, like, death, demons. That was, like, the chef's kiss, and it got me so excited to see Mitsuri. I'm like, I'm so glad that she's one of the Hashira in this arc because she's adorable. Her character is really funny. You find out also that she became a Demon Slayer to find a man. Like, she wanted to find a strong man, and, like, this was the place to find him. And I found her, like, she's so cute. I'm, like, excited. I'm so excited to see more of her. And just her interactions with Nezuko was really cute. Like, she was treating her like a little sister, and I'm just like, oh, I love Mitsuri. Oh, I love her. And she's such a pretty character. It got weird, though. Okay, like, her and Tanjiro. Oh, man. She was talking about, like, the strong man and everything, and Tanjiro was sitting here like, wait, what? Like, you're risking your life for this? Like, what? But also she mentions a secret weapon after Tanjiro was like, I'm going to defeat Muzan. She was talking about a secret weapon that you can find in this village, but the way that, like, she said it so sexually. She, like, whispered it in his ear. And I'm like, wait, what kind of weapon is this? Is this, like, an actual fighting weapon? Or is it some weird sexual thing? I don't know, because there was another girl there with them, and she had this weird reaction where she was, like, shimmying her body, but, like, her boobs were, like, popping out. And I'm like, what is going on? Why is the show, like, so horny right now? So after meeting with Mitsuri, Tanjiro leaves. He's walking through the forest thinking about, like, what Mitsuri said to him. Then we see Tokito, the Mist Hashira, with a little kid. What I found was strange is that mysterious man was behind the kid. Like, Tanjiro was like, wait, I've seen this man before. But then he was thinking, is it real? Like, is he really there? It was weird. Like, he was seeing him stand right behind this little boy. And I'm like, why are we seeing this mysterious man so much? And then, like, the episode's over. So it's like, they're really trying to put this man in your face. You're like, okay. Again, like I said, I feel like he has some weird connection with Upper Moon 1 just because of how physically similar they look. Like, if you take out 4 of the Upper Moon's eyes and you just see his, like, normal eyes, they have, like, the same face. Okay? We will have to see, though. That has me so excited to rewatch the episode, first of all, because I just feel like I need to revisit a lot of things. One thing I did notice is, you know how in Demon Slayer they do the dot eyes a lot? They did it a lot in this episode. They did a lot of, like, chibi and cuteness in this episode, which I feel like maybe it was to add contrast to, like, just how serious and menacing the very beginning of the episode was, even though, like, there were some funny moments between the demons, but when you leave that moment and enter just, like, you know, you see Tanjiro with Inosuke, Kano, like, everyone, even the little cat. The cat was in the window, and it was like, I'm so glad you're okay, and all of these cute moments. I'm just like, that could have been really bad, okay? We could have lost, like, Zenitsu and Inosuke. Like, I was really expecting Inosuke to actually die there. The fact that he survived that is shocking to me, but I also feel like maybe we're too soon in the story, because I feel like there's no way everyone is going to survive. There's just no way with the format of this show and just how we lost Rengoku. I'm like, they're not gonna leave it off with Rengoku being the only one to die here. Like, come on. I'm glad though that Tengen did not die, because that was another worry of mine. I was like, Tengen, he might die, and I didn't like that. Overall, I will give this episode a solid 10 out of 10, because not only the animation was gorgeous, the environments, just everything. There wasn't a lot of action, but I feel like most of the stuff was in the Infinity Castle, where, I mean, some of the demons were just like attacking each other, but just how they presented the upper one, and they made his presence so heavy. Like, if I was there, I'd be scared to be standing by this man. Like, he was, like, the mysteriousness to him also was quite frightening, but their designs are great. Like I said, I like Domo. I like his rainbow eyes. I just like his entire aesthetic. He's very, like, flamboyant. Honestly, it would have been funny if he met Tengen. I feel like they would have vibed, and now I feel like I'm going to curse Tengen for being thrown back into the Demon Slayers. He's retired. Leave him alone. I don't want Tengen to show up again because I don't want him to die. I'm like, let's keep him out of this. But I'm so excited for episode 2, and we still have an entire, like, I think 2 months. 2 months. But again, my entire experience at the LA premiere was just so much fun, being surrounded by people that love Demon Slayer. We were cheering, we were so happy, and we were hyped for every moment. I guess I'll leave off with the opening, because they did play the opening at the end of the episode, which I did hear mixed reviews on it. Like, some people didn't like it. I need to hear the opening again. I really liked it because it goes from, like, a guy singing and then we have a girl singing, and I feel like that's very fitting for the arc, because we have Tokito and Mitsuri which, going off through the opening, I don't know, when we cut from, like, Tanjiro, there was a scene with Nezuko and you see her in, like, a field, and I really liked it. I feel like it works well. Like, the visuals with the opening and the song, I'm sitting here and I was, like, vibing. I'm like, ooh, I like this song. Da, 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 da. Something like that. Da, 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 da. I really want to hear the full song, though, because I already like the little snippet. I know some people are like, it's not really Demon Slayer, whatever, but I think it fits for the arc, for sure. And also in the opening, you do see the upper 5, and I don't know, did you see the upper 4? I know we saw Gyoko in the opening. Hantangyu? I don't know if we saw him too, but it seemed like Muzan was sending them, so I'm assuming the other one was with him. Overall, you guys, that was an experience. Again, if you have the chance to see it in theaters, I highly recommend it. And if I missed any points, I'm sorry. But overall, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen this season of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is always so much fun to watch, even though it makes me stressed out. Now, I do plan on watching episode 1 again for YouTube, like watching it with you guys and giving more of a commentary to what I'm seeing, because I've already seen the episode. But I can definitely go in more depth on what I'm thinking, my theories and stuff. So I am definitely going to watch it again when it airs. And then we will start episode 2, which I'm so excited for. Again, make sure to subscribe. I will be reacting to the Swordsmith Village arc when it comes out on Crunchyroll. And yeah, make sure to give this video a like. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay fresh. Bye.